Hello, in this video I will be showing you an easy guide to how to use GnuPG, so GNU privacy guard for PGP encryption, to be used with things like email and whatever. It doesn't have to be email specifically, but email is one good option for where to use this. Now, so let's begin. As you can see here, there are two sets of windows open, two for person A and two for person B. They both have their personal directories and they both have their terminals. Right, so this will not be a technical guide like this big advanced thing with all the technicalities. I will just show you how to set up the users and how to send the messages. So let's first create the first user. DPG full gen key. First one. Here you should select the biggest number available. There's really no reason not to go with the biggest one. You can decide this arbitrarily based on your own reasonings. Just put 5 days, whatever. Is this correct? Yes. Then come up with a name person A. Just come up with a fictional one, an email. Comment the first user created. Okay. Then it will ask you for a password, a passphrase. Now you should come up with a strong and complicated password or passphrase or whatever you want to call it here. It should be a really good one, but I'll just call it person A for demonstration purposes. Take this one anyway. Now if it tells you that your password is poor, then you should perhaps come up with a better one. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use whatever. Right, so now person A has been created. Then what you need to do is, what person A needs to do is export their public key. So GPG export armor, misspelled that. You should perhaps select the user ID here in case you have multiple accounts already, but you might not have them, but I'm still gonna put that there just to show how it's done. Now you can see it spits out this key in the terminal. Now if you want to put that in a file, which is what I will do now, then you can put the public key file. So then that's where that is now. So you can see now here in the person A's directory, public key file appears, and if I open it, it's the same content that it's spit out in the terminal just previously. So now that is the public key of person A. So now person A, this public key, this is the one that is public. So person A will now share this public key with person B. So somehow the person A will send this file. So I will copy paste it into the person B's directory. So now you can imagine that person A with person B somehow shared this file. So person A's public key. So you can now imagine that they like met somewhere and then they shared their keys. So that's person A's public key, and that's my public key because it's the person A's key. And then we will do the same for person B because person B also needs to be created. So let's create person B, GPG, full gen key. Now obviously person B would be using their own computer or whatever, but I'm just going to do it on the same computer here, on the same user instance. It works still. You can still create you can create them on the same computer and on the same user like this, but running the same like session on the computer, but realistically it would be running these on two different computers. But anyway, but you can just think of the separation of these two users as being different computers. So imagine that this is person A's computer, the left side, this is person A's computer, and then the right side is person B's computer. So you could imagine them as separate computers. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just doing it on the same computer. It works either way, it's the same process. So then person B creates their user. Now the options are basically the same. I mean, use this biggest number. And okay, of course, the person B can choose their different expiration date. Well, let's go with 3 days, whatever, it doesn't really matter, you know. Those can be decided arbitrarily. That's up to your own decisions, what you want to do with the expiration dates. Yes, then person B, let's call it B at B-mail. The second user created, and okay, everything is right. And then again, strong and complicated password. Sorry, I'll just call it person B for demonstration purposes. Take this one anyway, and now it generates the user. And then person B should also export their key, so PGP, GnuPG, export armor, and then they should take their own user code here. Speaking of the user code, I would recommend perhaps saving the user code also in a file where but it's also useful later. So I'll also do the same with the person A. So the person A also here earlier saw the ID. I recommend saving this. You can also see it, of course, in the terminal, but it doesn't really matter. You can do it. It doesn't have any harm. It shouldn't have any harm if you save that. It's just for convenience. You don't need to do that. It's just for convenience so that you can find it later. Anyway, but you shouldn't share. That's not necessary. That's just for your own personal need, this thing. Just for convenience. And then let's go back to the person B. Export the with the personal ID. No, that's the wrong one because I just did the wrong. Person A, sorry. So now this is where it becomes useful. You just go to the file and then you copy paste that. Make sure that there's no new line to confuse anyone. Let's see. So that's person B's user ID. And again, it spits it in the terminal. So you could put it into my public key. So it goes into my public key. So this is now person B's my public key. And again, because person A and person B meet somewhere, let's say, it doesn't have to be real life, perhaps it's another online service. It doesn't really matter. The point is that they share their public keys. So now person B will share their public key. So person B's public key. So now both of them have each other's public keys, as you can see. They have both their own key and the other's key. So now the transactions of these keys and the generation of the users has been completed. So what we can now do is get to the actual messaging part. So now let's send a message from person A to person B. So a message to be sent to person B by me, the person A. Right, so then, hello, this message is to be encrypted, so no spooky man can read it. Right, so that's now the message that the person A wants to send to the person B. I should probably move it on this side not to confuse the audience. Anyway, so this is now the message. So now the users have been created successfully. Let's get to the actual message sending part, encrypting the things. Now, because as I mentioned, I'm doing this on the same computer, therefore the both of the key pairs are already on the same computer, on the same system, so I don't technically need to import the key, but if you were doing this on two different computers, like you would be doing, sending messages to other people, then both of the users would need to import each other's keys. So as I just did earlier, both of the users, they shared their keys, so person B has person A's key and person A has person B's key. So they have each other's keys. Well, what's done with them is that both of them should import the key. So import, and then here person A imports person B's key. But as you can see here, it says not changed because, like I said, this is the same computer. But if this was two different computers, left side was person A's computer and right side was person B's computer, then that would be done. So also I'm gonna show it here as well. So import and then person A's public key. So now you can see, well, whatever ID thing you get as a result from here, you should copy that and then just put it here in case. So person A ID. That's also just for convenience. You could just get it with the, you just list it out, but I will save it here for convenience. So person B ID. So then, now let's get to the actual sending of the messages. Now let's send a message. So I created the message here. The keys have been imported and all that stuff. So let's see. So the actual encryption command itself is rather easy. You just say GPG encrypt and then the file name, the message to be sent, and then this is where you would enter the user ID. So now as I said, for convenience I saved it here into the ID, so you can just get the ID from here and then paste it and then just hit enter again. And now you can see here in the person A's directory another file appeared. So if I open the file, so did I forget armor? Oh yes, sorry, this is a binary file. That is also valid, you can do this also, but I would recommend you do actually, sorry, this is my mistake, I recommend you use armor here also, because armor makes it into text form. Sorry, that was a wrong place to put that. Put it there, armor. What? Sorry, I place it in the wrong place every time. Why is it not working with armor? It did work earlier. This is really weird. Let's see. PGP, GPG, armor. Isn't it two? Oh, sorry. I messed up. It needs two hyphens. Sorry. Yes, that was my mistake again. I did not write two hyphens. It requires two hyphens. Okay. So yeah, sorry for the mistakes. That was just nonsense. So anyway, back to the person B's ID. So person A has the person B's ID saved. So now you can see that if I enter this, now this time the file that appears is actually a text file. You can do either way. The binary works also. So the one you saw earlier, this one is perfectly fine also. It is actually, this is making a big difficult to read this. What a stupid thing. Anyway, you can see here, this is also perfectly reasonable. It creates a binary file. So you have to understand that there is a difference between a text file and a binary file. The binary file just contains like pure numbers for the computer. So it's like this sort of a computer file. Well, I don't know who the target audience of this video might be, who might be watching this, I don't know if you know what a binary file is, but if you are looking into PGP, you might already know what a binary file is. Anyway, it's a binary file, so yeah, this is also perfectly valid, is that you can select the armor there also. Remember, there's 2 hyphens, I did not remember that. So 2 hyphens for armor. Anyway, that creates a text file, so a text form. Both are valid, but I would recommend using the text variant. So now this is the actual message. This is what you would put into the email. So the actual email message you send, so person A sends to person B, this is the actual content of that message. So now let's imagine that this now gets put into the email and then sent across the email, and then the person B receives it now. So now this was sent to email. So now a message received from person A in email. Or is it from email? Whatever. So that's now a message that was received from email. So the person B now opens the file and sees that this is the stuff. Okay, well, what is to be done with this? Well, of course, person B will GPG decrypt the file, a message, and then it will ask for person B's password, of course, because this is person B doing it, so and now you can see it actually just spits out the information to the terminal, but if you want to put that in a file, again you can specify the unnecessary space. You can specify again the file path, so decrypted message from person A.txt. So now it does that. Again, it would ask you for your password if you did this the first time. So now, as you can see, person B received a message from person A in email, or from email, whatever. And then now it has been decrypted, so here is a decrypted file. And then when you open the decrypted file, this is now the original file that the person A sent. So as you can see, the text has now been successfully decrypted. So both person A and person B have now sent messages to one another. Right. I will also do it the other way, just to demonstrate. So now, let's clear everything again. Yeah, I hope it wasn't too hard to follow what I was doing. I did mess up with that hyphenization of that armor word there in the terminal. I did not remember it needed 2 hyphens, because sometimes it doesn't need. Sometimes it needs only 1 hyphen, and other times it needs two hyphens. That's weird. That's just a bizarre inconsistency. Anyway, so now let's create another message. So person B wants to send, I want to send this to person A. Let's call it txt, whatever. That's not necessary, but I'll just do that. So, hello, I received your message about the spooky man. Here is another reply they can't read. Right, so that's now person B's message to be sent to person A. So then, so again, GnuPG encrypt, and again, this time two hyphens armor, and then the file name I want to send this to them. And then now again, for convenience, remember I saved person A's ID here. So then copy this, paste it into here. So that's now the ID of person A. You can see current recipients. You can keep adding actually recipients if you want to send the message to multiple people, seemingly so. I haven't never actually done that, but it doesn't really matter if you just want to send to one person. Then you just hit enter. When it says end with an empty line, that just means that like you hit enter, so it just confirms it. So that's that. Okay, so now it has been encrypted, the message from person B. So now this is now the encrypted form. So again, if I open it, this is it. So this is the message. So then the person B wants to send this. So again with email, let's say, so there's some email. Person B sends an email to person A. Person A receives the email, so I receive this from person B. So person A received it from person B. And again, the same way, let's clear that. Then again, the same way, GPG, decrypt, file, and this time I'll just pipe it to the file. So I received this from, let's say, no decrypted.txt, and then that's that. And then it will ask person A's password. So person A for person A. We now decrypted, and you can see here now the file has appeared here. I received this from person B, now decrypted.txt, and when I open it, now the message from person B has now been received by person A, and it has been successfully encrypted and decrypted. Right, so that's that. GPG is actually really easy to use. Yes, so that's all there is to it, really. You can just send messages like this. It's not actually that difficult. Like, you could even write like a script file that does this automatically, and all you need to do is like just run your script, my GPG email thing script. You could just come up with a script file and then just execute it. It would just do all that automatically, basically. Well, I guess you would need to still specify the person B's ID and all that stuff, but still easy enough. Yeah, so like that's basically all there is to it, really. You can of course do all the other advanced things like whatever the GPG can do, but this is not what this tutorial is for. This video is just for showing this actual action. Send the messages between the users. Right, so that's it. That's it for the video then. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye.